it is 20 to 12. So Cormac and I had a big conversation about this whole film on the way up. And because it's 20 to 12, normally I want to punch Cormac on a daily basis.
It's quarter to 12.
So
these are the reasons why.
Yeah, I do want to punch you in the day, but I really wanted to punch you. Not just because, Cormac's talking, but because Cormac's talking and it's quarter to 12 or whatever to 12.
Well, 13 minutes.
Oh, I swear to God. So welcome back to our January review, even though it's February. Sorry, we're busy. I have work. Cormac has work. Mm-hmm. Cormac can't manage time. Joking, you can. Not really. So we're doing a stay and hopefully we'll get this out to you. Well, now when you're listening to it.
Yeah. Ooh. I mean, I don't think there's any retroactive way to say about what time it was late. We're sorry it's late.
It's late.
That's essentially all we're trying to get across.
It's late. So we went to see the Three Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri.
Written and directed by Martin McDonagh.
Yeah, and it was going. I went into this blind, so did Cormac. Though we kind of had both seen the trailers
accidentally.
Well, no, I go through a load of trailers monthly to see what's coming out. So like indie films or anime or whatever. So I remember sitting there, I was not having a clue what it's about, and then as the film went on, I went, "Is this the one with your one who had the daughter missing or something?" And she gets the billboards, and I was actually really delighted because I generally thought you brought me into an action film. I don't know why.
When did I ever give you that impression?
No, you didn't. So I just presumed impressions by Three Billboards. I went, is this a slang because there's billboards and people get shot at billboards? But I was very surprised. And this film, had my attention the whole way through. Obviously, I ignore Cormac, but when I get into a film, I have to lean over and be like, oh my goodness. And Cormac obviously hates it, but I think Cormac and I are trading places. Cormac's normally the annoying one, and I'm normally I'm going to kill someone.
I was so close to just moving seats during this film.
To all the other free seats in the cinema.
Yeah. It's a Wednesday night in February. It was a slow day.
Yeah. Like 6 other people in the theater. Yeah. So we'll get over our bitching of one another. But this film was just amazing.
It is.
The writing by Martin was amazing. He obviously directed it, but I feel like the cinematographer took kind of charge in the cinematography.
Well, yeah, like Martin McDonagh is definitely more so a writer than a director. Which like that's his big thing.
Yeah, no, that's his thing, and it's not that it made the film any weaker. It just means that he obviously really concentrated on the writing. Mm-hmm. He obviously, because now I'll do the same thing. When you write something, you want to direct it because you don't know what they'll do to your poor baby.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
And he obviously must have worked well with everyone else because it turned out to this beautiful film, very well acted by all characters. All parts played a role. Each character went through kind of a journey, whether it's big or small. It wasn't a happy dappy. Not everything ended happily, and it had so many twists, but not like a big it was old man Miller the whole time. It was very subtle ones that was very realistic, but you were so convinced. Like I was convinced who it was. Mm-hmm. So the summary of the film is a daughter of the main character has been raped and murdered 7 months ago, and the mother hires out 3 billboards and
outside Ebbing, Missouri.
Outside Ebbing, Missouri, hence the title, and calling out the sheriff on not finding the killer, and it's kind of the reaction for that. And it was just quite interesting how the commentary on a lot of things, on a lot of characters, because not everyone was like the hero, like I'm all on her side, I'm all on his side. Like you had some characters where I hated them at the start, and then they did one thing and I went, oh, you're a good character, but you were like this, I don't know how to feel about you.
So that's one thing Martin McDonagh is known for.
Very good characters.
But yeah, characters, absolutely, but like nothing in his films or his plays are black and white. Everything is just a different shade of grey.
Oh yeah.
And that lends itself to the narrative as well, because like you said, you were convinced at one point that one of the characters was the killer, but that turns out to not be true. I'm not going to try and avoid spoilers here, but McDonagh is known for inserting a lot of red herrings into
and it
his
wasn't
works.
obvious, which
It
I
really
liked.
was, yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, I was kind of happy I'd figured it out, but then I was like, okay, where is this going to go? Because I don't know how they're going to end it. And it ended on a good note. It left doors open, but at the same time closed some.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like he will, in anything that he's written, he never gives a solid answer to the main question.
Yeah.
Like there's been murders, you know who the murderer is, but like that's been obvious stuff from the beginning. The point behind this, I believe, is because it's not a matter of who the killer is. That's not what the film is trying to figure out. The film is trying to figure out the effects of the town of Ebbing, Missouri.
How this town reacts to
how
it.
it reacts to the death.
And how it reacts to the billboards. How the
Exactly. So,
the
like,
billboards
yeah.
bring up more insults than the actual murder.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's the thing that he's trying to get at in this one is the lack of input from police. In America, I imagine, and how they go about trying to solve these crimes and end up spending more time on more petty issues.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of racially kind of charged elements of the film where one of the officers is called out for beating up black people or black teenagers.
But it's not that they call him out. They're just like, hey, you beat up black people. Everyone knows it, but no one is stopping
Yeah, well,
them from doing it.
yeah, exactly. That's like it's always a social commentary with
Yeah.
McDonagh in some form or another. Like this character never denies it. In fact, in one
It's
scene,
almost like a normality. Because it's a
Yeah,
small
exactly,
town in southern America.
yeah, in one scene which I thought was just brilliant, the main character calls him out for black beating, I think it was, and he comes on and is like, "No, it's not black beating, it's colored beating." Which
So
which I thought
he was more concerned of the wording instead of the act.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, it's McDonagh plays with a lot of these conventions.
It's not thrown in your face.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you know, if you're coming into this film expecting to see for a murder mystery, which it sort of sets itself up for in the beginning, it's not what you get.
Nope.
It's nowhere near a murder mystery film because the heart of the film isn't the murder or the rape, it's the town reacting to both that, the billboards, different suicides, different actions that are taken by the police, and again the actions that end up being reactions to the lack of action that the police are taking.
And it's also how the individual characters react to the billboard, if they're against it, if they're for it, and even when they're for it, they're on the middle ground, and even if they're against it, they're on the middle ground as well. So it's quite interesting. Characters were fantastic. Peter Dinklage was in it. I was just like, when he came on screen, I was like, yay, Peter Dinklage. His character was lovely, and you only got to spend a small time with him because he's probably expensive to hire out.
I imagine so.
But he's just a lovely character. The best thing in this film was so the main character's ex-husband has a girlfriend of 19. Every scene she's in, it's so funny because they're like, there's tension happening, and she just pops in going, sorry, can I use the bathroom if that's okay, if that's not convenient, but looks convenient, so I might just leave because it's convenient. And her eyes aren't blinking, and she's got big pouty lips, and it's every scene she's in, I'm just like, yes.
I think that's another trope that he was just trying to bounce off of, because in like a lot of scenarios in film where you will find the young attractive female that takes away the husband.
Okay.
She's very malicious.
Is that in his other films?
Yeah.
Okay.
But she's very much trying to woo the husband into a way. There's a malicious element to it. In this one, it's very, very clear that she's just a victim of circumstance, that this guy happened to fancy her, and she's just kind of going along with it. There's no maliciousness.
Though she probably has no friends, because any friend would go, okay, he's like 3 times her age.
Well, like, again,
No. Girlfriends would be like, okay, stop. Think about it, because 3 times her age, at least. He's what, in his 40s? She's 19.
Yeah.
Just about an adult. So there's no kind of she needs friends. She was hilarious, but she needs friends to say, okay, girl, you need to step back and hire, or go out with the son. The son is like probably a little younger, but the same age, more or less.
Yeah. Well, again, I think these elements of it don't exactly matter. It's more...
No, she was fucking hilarious. She was hilarious in every scene. She was like, you're after going through a depressing scene and another sad scene and a tension scene, and she comes in, you're like, yay, comedy. Yeah. Some comedy.
And that actually brings me to another aspect that is quite prevalent in McDonagh's work.
Okay.
Dark humor.
Oh yeah, this is full of dark humor.
And so I allowed myself coming into this one to not get the effect that usually happens when you go see something by McDonagh, where you have this point where you're laughing at the film, even though you really shouldn't be. And it's something that he does so perfectly. He will set up this incredibly dark atmosphere. You're sitting there, you can feel the anger or the sadness or whatever it may be in a certain scene, like all these negative emotions, and something will happen that is just completely hilarious, but it's still very dark.
Yeah.
And so it's
I can't really think of any. I remember laughing, going, "Oh," as in that's not an appropriate thing to say to one character in this situation. But I laughed because I'm not in the film, so.
Yeah. Well, it's this kind of situation where you will have, like a burn victim, and someone makes a joke, that's really hitting it hard about the insecurities of this person. And you're sitting there and you're just like, I really shouldn't be laughing right now, but this is so damn funny. And that's something McDonagh does quite often in his works, where he will try and make light of these serious topics so you can have a bit of levity behind it.
Do you know, speaking of funny, for anyone who watches Walking Dead, I think it was not the last series, the series before that, I think that was 7, I've lost track. There was a deer in The Walking Dead, and everyone made fun of the deer because obviously all the special effects went to the tiger, and you had this deer. So we're watching this film, and in this lovely moment, and the deer comes on, and Cormac and I were like, is that real, or is that a CGI deer, or is that in front of a... Because the first shot I went, that's a fake ass deer, and then I did it like a mid shot, I went, oh wait, that's a real deer, and then we did another shot, I went, I'm confused. And I remember looking at you because I was like, am I seeing? Because that was the only, if I had a negative thing, I was like, the fucking deer.
What I think actually happened was they filmed a real deer, and then
they CGI.
They animated the expressions and the movement.
There's no you don't need to animate expressions. It's not like Dr. Dolittle where the animals need to talk.
No, I know, but I think that they wanted the neck and everything to move in a certain way.
Then you just film the deer in front of a green screen until it does its fucking job, or even bring that's not a set; it's a location. So bring the actual deer to the location.
No, that's what I'm saying.
And rotoscope out the ropes, but no, you don't need. To make CGI, that's just a bad call. Who made that call? That was a bad call. It should have just been all deer or not deer. CGI deer.
Yeah, okay.
Because you and I were looking at each other at one point.
Yeah, no, it was...
And we were like,
it was one of the parts about the film that was a bit like, okay, right, let's...
I think that's the only thing I can think of. No,
that and the shaky cam. I didn't like the shaky cam. I don't like shaky cam in general. Yeah, I hate shaky cam.
I think it suits because it's an action scene. You're in the action, but apart from that, no. I think there was one shot, actually, now that you've brought it up, I remember kind of going, Jesus, calm down and focus. And it did focus, but it should have focused a little quicker. But at the same time, this whole film is not quick paced. There are some slow bits. And each scene does have a point. But I felt like, if you're watching something in normal speed and you go back, and like on a YouTube page, which didn't really bother me, because they had lovely music. The soundtrack was really interesting. A mix of country songs, but not cheesy ones. Just really good ones. You weren't listening to... And now Cormac sings, because of course Cormac sings. But it was good, because the song was a part of it. You weren't going, oh, I'm listening to a song while watching the video. They blended very well together. So this film was a good film. I'm actually happy for a film that's out in January.
Yeah.
Because normally January's are pieces of shit, really.
Yeah. Well, it's up for Best Picture.
Yeah, I
in
know.
the Oscars.
Delighted for him.
Let's see. We've got it up against The Shape of Water, Darkest Hour,
No.
Dunkirk,
Same film as
Phantom
Darkest
Thread.
Hour.
Haven't even heard of that one. Three
Yeah.
Billboards.
Yeah.
Get Out.
Fantastic.
The Post.
Disappointing.
I've heard that's not great. Call Me by Your Name.
I've no idea.
It's meant to be amazing. And Lady Bird.
Really want to see it.
Me too. I've seen only one other of these.
Which one?
Dunkirk.
Okay, I've seen The Shape of Water. It's really good. I was expecting more, but I think I might have hyped it up.
I'm just glad Del Toro was finally up for a Best Picture Oscar.
Yeah, no, I'm delighted for it. I'm kind of annoyed that Darkest Hour and Dunkirk are up, because to be honest, it's the same.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
I'm not dissing the films. Both films, from what I've heard, are very good. Dunkirk, I know, is very good. Darkest Hour, I've seen the trailer and I've seen some reviews, are very good. I'm not dissing the films. I'm not saying they're bad. I'm just saying it's a bit disappointing that out of the 6 films, 2 are more or less roughly the same time.
They are the same time.
Yeah. One is on the beach, one is in the office talking about the beach. So I don't know if that's just an Oscar.
I think it's so Dunkirk is a micro look on it on that.
Well, no, they're specifically looking on that bit of beach.
Yeah, and then Darkest Hour is a macro.
Yeah, no, I know that, but I just think like, oh, come on, like.
I didn't like Dunkirk.
To be honest, I don't enjoy.
I'm sorry, before the comments just rail into me.
What comments? Who comments on our things?
I'm sure they will eventually. If people hear that I don't like Dunkirk, they'll flood in. I thought Dunkirk was a great film. Everything about it was done exceptionally well, as is with most Christopher Nolan films. However, it bored me. I was visually stunning.
Yeah.
Everything about it was great. Yeah, but no.
I saw the trailer and I remember the bit where a guy and the boat is going to hit the dock.
That didn't happen though, did it?
Well, no, I didn't see it.
Oh,
and
okay.
that's the only bit of the trailer I went, oh,
Spoilers,
Jesus.
sorry.
Jesus, like, he could have been killed. But that's it. It's another war film. And to be honest, I'm just bored of war films because it's this era where we're already, like, so tense with wars and maybe other wars. And, you know, we don't need to go, hey, remember this war? Like, you know, you can honor people, but why don't you honor it in, like, a different way?
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's good to, you know, people, the soldiers who got stuck and the people who rescued them, of course you can show and honor them, but you could have, like, picked a really, really specific, unique, like, I would love to know about the nurses because I come from a family of nurses, like, what, like, there was restrictions, I think, during the war about what women could sign up to be nurses. And it would just be interesting because, you know, we've seen it's another war film.
Yeah.
I forget it's up half the time. All I remember is Shape of Water because I've seen it, Get Out because of Jordan Peele, Lady Bird because of Greta Gerwig, which I was ecstatic over. And I don't even know Call Me By Your Name. Who is she?
Who?
Call Me By Your Name, the film.
It's about guys, I think. Luca is a lad's name.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I've not heard of it. Like, I've heard of everyone else. Well, apart from Phantom Thread, I don't know who that is.
Paul Thomas Anderson?
Yeah, no, I can see the name. I'm talking about the over film. Like, you knew, like, The Post came out because you had the cool posters. You knew Shape of Water came out because everyone was screaming that Del Toro was directing something. Okay, we're getting off topic.
Yeah, no, we're going to have to title this one as Three Billboards plus Oscar
plus
talk.
Like a dip of toe in Oscar talk.
Yeah.
We'll see if we can try and see all of them. That's one normally the goal every year, is to try and see the best pictures.
Yeah, okay. Actually, I would be up for that. And then we do a podcast on.
We're doing Black Panther next month.
Oh god. Yeah.
There's no conversation.
This month.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
it's February.
this month.
It's February.
It's like next week, I think.
Yay!
I know.
It looks amazing.
It does look amazing.
All right. So we will leave it at that. Go see Three Billboards. It was amazing.
Yeah. Don't go see Transformers.
Yeah.
And continue arguing about Star Wars.
Did you see they made a version with no women, and then someone made a version with no guys, and the cast just to prove a point, and it's so funny because it's so stupid. Like I was laughing at it the whole day. Like someone took time to edit that. Like they had to sit through the whole film and go in point out point, in point out point. and then they had to export it, and then they had to upload it. Like you could have written another Star Wars fan fiction, and that would have made the world a little bit better, maybe.
I'm a huge fan of allowing people to have their own opinions.
That's not an opinion. That's just saying, I don't want the women in it.
No, let me finish. I'm a huge fan of allowing people to have their own opinions. However, when it comes to these guys or the guy that decided to do this edit, there's only one word that can ever come to mind when I'm thinking about you, and that is butthurt. Butthurt.
I would have just said sad.
No, sad also, but like
sad.
Seriously, dude, are you no? Yeah, like it is sad.
I pity
Jesus.
him because if he thinks half the world isn't good for Star Wars, like,
but
does that mean he hates Princess Leia and that other lady in it? That other lady in Star, yeah,
General Holdo.
That the other lady in Star Wars who, because there's no other.
Also, sorry, we're going way off point here. I've read a few different things where people have been giving out about General Holdo's move at the end of The Last Jedi, where she... spoilers for The Last Jedi here. It's been out a while, so it shouldn't be too difficult. Basically, the First Order are on the tail of the...
Oh, she should have told the plan.
No. When she turns the ship around and goes to... hyperspaces straight into the First Order ship. And people are like, oh, if that could always happen, then why didn't they do it in all the other Star Wars films?
That's a ship. That's a waste of a good ship.
No, it's not even that. Go back to A First Hope.
Okay.
Watch the first time that they go into hyperspace.
Okay.
You'll see Han Solo doing a lot of calculations. You'll also hear him say something along the lines of, if you want to go into hyperspace without knowing exactly where you're going, there's going to be a lot of mess that is going to screw up a lot of the galaxy. Oh. The reason they don't do that as a move is because the implications and the effects that will have on not just the area around them, but you're sending like shards of debris through hyperspace. Like, that is going to just knock out planets and stuff. There's a reason they don't do that often. That was a very dangerous, ballsy last effort that, like, this is why it was so impactful in the film. I don't think people really understood that, this was literally the absolute last resort. There was nothing else that she could have done in that scenario, and the consequences of it are severe. So guys, seriously, check your facts.
That woman's got ovaries, yeah. Homework, watch A New Hope.
Watch A New Hope. Don't fund Michael Bay
anymore. Or why can't we just... don't bring up Michael Bay.
Fuck Michael Bay.
Can we just enjoy films? Can we not just go to Star Wars and go, yay, oh, look, there's a girl in it. That doesn't matter because it's good writing.
We could, but people won't let us. People won't let us. Anyway, go see Three Billboards.
Watch A New Hope.
Watch A New Hope. Just watch all of Star Wars again, because the prequels do have their good points. They're shitty films, but they got some good stuff. See you later, guys.
Bye.
Bye. Take it easy. Yeah.